I don't know what's happening.
Warning, Spillet is about to be taken over in
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Spillet Takeover activated.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and happy Wednesday. I'm Simo, and I'm from That Life Clothing. I run my own podcast called the That Life Podcast. So, firstly, I'd like to thank Marcus for the opportunity for taking over his podcast for the evening. So, about That Life Podcast, what we do, I get inspirational people on with amazing stories and talk to them about their journey and the reason why. I really like to know the reasons why, of how these people, how their story has, where they started, where they are now, and what they're going to be doing in the future. So tonight we have the UK band All Over Again. So I'd like to introduce first Grace to the stream. Hi, Grace.
Hi. Hello.
How
So
are you?
I'm Grace. I am the lead singer in All Over Again. We're a Nottingham-based band. Yeah.
Fantastic, short and sweet. We'll go for Ash.
Hey guys, I'm Ash. I play guitar in All Over Again, and I mean that's about it.
Fantastic. We'll go Alex.
Hi guys, I'm Alex. I'm the bass player and All Over Again. And yeah, like I said, that's about it.
And Sam.
Well, they've clearly saved the best for last. I'm Sam, and I play drums in All Over Again.
So, first question. When did the band start?
Ooh. So me and Ash were in another band before this. Around about 2015, back in the 2014 roundabout.
Yeah, 2015, a long time.
Yeah, something like that. So a few years ago,
Yeah.
we were in a band together, and we're like, yeah, this is pretty good, pretty fun. Decided we didn't really want to be in that band anymore, but we collaborated well together. You know, we felt like it was a good sort of artistic connection we had going on. Had a lot of the same influences and stuff as well. So it was sort of like, should we just make another band now? Like, is that what we do? And yeah, we did. This is us now. And that sort of like slowly went on with a couple of other like members over the years, and until we have got to here with these two lovely humans.
Right.
Awesome. So you met Grace and Alex through like mutual friends, or did you guys come across some other way?
Sort of. Well, 'cause when I first joined All Over Again, there's a bit of a backstory to it. So it was a certain person that is mutual between me, Ashton, and Sam. And anyway, so the story goes, basically, so Sam and I spent a good fair amount of time thinking that we absolutely just properly disliked each other for the reason being is a certain mutual friend of ours was sort of pitting us against each other. So he was going off to me and telling me that Sam hated me and vice versa. So me and Sam spent a good, must be two or 3 years just completely avoiding each other, not having anything to do with each other.
Yeah.
And then it was around, I think it was probably 2.5 years ago, I got, maybe even 3, I got a message off Ashton. I think they were looking for a bass player when they're all singles with us. I was a bit sort of like, a bit reluctant to join because I thought, Sam, hated me. And so Ashton was sort of persisted and bugged me until I finally finally joined.
The same on my end as well. I was like, really, him? He doesn't like me.
So I turned up to practice, and then sort of means I walked in. Sam was at the drum kit. I was sort of a heads down sort of thing. Then I can remember that little funny thing from that practice. I remember I was just like sort of plugged in and tuned up and just testing out my tones and stuff. I was riffing. I can remember a voice coming behind me. I think it was either Ashton or May. Sort of went, "Oh, this one can actually play then." But then after when we got off to the rehearsal, after I was learning the songs on my belt, sort of Sam sort of took me to one side and sort of said, "Oh, we've got to sort of put this to bed. What's the issue?" I sort of said, "Well, I've got no issue with you, but no issue with me." And become reasonably good friends since then. I hope.
Reasonably.
we
used to go to the pub like every bloody day.
I was about to say the amount of times we were in the pub.
Yeah, until you ran
Jesus. Well, if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have met Grace. Amazing segue. Wow.
Yeah.
Grace, how did you join the band?
So I joined the band purely because I usually do like singer-songwriter kind of stuff, but like over the years I just I'm self-taught guitar because I purely wanted to go out and do gigs and stuff like that, but because I'm self-taught, like I'm nowhere near as good as like other people like Ash, and like me trying to understand like scales and stuff, like I do understand them for singing, but when I'm trying to play them on a guitar I'm like So basically I realized I was never going to be that good in that front, and that I wanted to be with a band kind of thing, because like I've always loved bands anyway, but especially like female fronted bands like Paramore and Against the Current and stuff like that. I've drawn like a lot of influences from them, and I wanted to do something like that. And then when I came to uni, like I wanted to kind of meet those kinds of people, but it just like wasn't happening. And then like me and Sam became really close friends, but I knew he had a band that already like had a singer and stuff like that, obviously. But then that didn't work out. And when Sam just like was talking to me about that, just as like a little bit of a vent, really, I was just like, you'll find somebody, because like there are so many people in Knots that obviously want to be in a band, or like singer-songwriters that don't want to be doing that, they want to be in a band and stuff like that. And I was like myself included, mate, I was like, there are loads of people at uni. And he was just like, well, he was like, how about you? Like he literally didn't even hesitate. It was like I sent that message, and then immediately a minute later he was like, you
want in?
He was like, you want in? And I was like, okay. And then he basically just turned around to the other guys in the band and was like, this is Grace, she's really good, she's in the band now. And they were like, okay.
Yeah. There was no doubt about it.
And like, yeah, 100%. He was just like, she's in the band, deal with it.
That's it.
And like, I've put a song out of my own. I put that out a couple of years ago, and like all he did was play them that, and they were like, yeah, cool, that's fine. And then I was like in the band, but we hadn't like played together or anything to see if there was the chemistry and stuff like that just yet. And then we went for a studio session, and about 5 minutes into knowing one another, me and Ash were just like ripping each other and just like literally like within about 5 minutes we were already taking the piss out of each other. And then we walked into the room with Alex, and Sam just went, this is Grace, this is Alex, you're friends now. Yeah. That's exactly how that went down, and we were like, all right, shook each other's hands and just continued on with the day.
Was I wrong?
No, you weren't wrong.
It's so amazing when you can just click like that. You just know straight away the whole atmosphere and everything. You can tell, like when I meet people myself, you can just see straight away. You can just click. Sometimes it takes 100%. A little bit longer, but it's just amazing when that happens. So all over again, the name. How did the name come about? Did you guys create it when you joined the band, Grace, or was that already around, or what?
So
this is one for Ash.
I have a complicated relationship with names, band names. Okay, so we were in a band before. It was pretty like metal-y and stuff. Like that's the kind of influence I've grown up on. And then when we were in a band with our other singer, before it was what it was now, we didn't have a bassist or anything. And I know this is the worst name, right? I'm putting it out there as cringy, but I was scrolling through Tumblr. I want to hear it. Imagine I was scrolling through Tumblr.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's how it starts. You know, it's like, and I saw a word that's like associated with the smell of like the rain on like the pavement, and it's cold.
I love that smell.
Yeah, I was like, I love that smell, so I'm gonna call the band it. But the word is petrichor, and it's so grated.
Oh,
As a
Great,
word.
great smell, terrible
oh
band name.
no.
Terrible name.
That is a beautiful smell,
Yes.
though. I do love that
Yeah.
smell.
So, but then it clicked for me really, because I was like, oh, we need a name. That's it. We're sticking with it. And then we played like our live set. I think it was for like, against fox hunting, quite a while back. And then we had to tell the guy our name, and I was like, I had that like gut feeling of like, I can't, like I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Don't want to tell that.
So it honestly came about later because I was like, we need a new name. And I was stood at the bus stop, and all over again popped into my head. And I was like, I kind of like how that flows. I like a lot of bands that have like, something, something, something in their name, which are all like your post-hardcore bands. Like you're Sleeping with Sirens and your emo bands.
Yeah.
So I was like, we'll stick with that. And it didn't really like, it was more of just finding a name that worked for me. But over time, I guess it's kind of like, we've been going at this for a while, and now we finally got the proper push. I think Grace has helped a lot with that. But we've, it's kind of like all over again in a way, like we keep doing, we keep pushing forward and doing this thing and keeping at it until the point where we're doing pretty well, I'd say.
I love that. That's awesome.
The amount of the times it gets made as a joke when we're like recording stuff as well. It's like,
Yeah.
the take was good, but do you fancy doing it all over again? It's like, oh, mate, come on. You know it's coming before it's even said. It's just set up every time.
And we can meme it.
Sometimes it's like super funny, and then other days, if it's been like one of them days, like
A long
when
day.
we were doing some of our recording, like it had been such a long day, and Sam said that to me, and I was like, just hit record.
Oh, if looks could kill, then we'll kill.
Honestly, the real test of the band is getting in a recording studio.
That's it. So what was your favourite gig to date then? Obviously, you've probably not gigged in over a year, but beforehand.
We've never gigged as this lineup.
Yeah, so us as this lineup, we've not been able to gig just yet. We had like 4 or 5 lined up through like April to June last year, and then obviously all of it just went
Wow. So it's all exciting for when we do come out. You guys are going to be first. Wow, that's amazing. That's so good.
Yeah.
So with lockdown happening and everything, then how have you guys like been able to practice together then, or anything like that?
Not really. I mean,
not at all. No.
It's mostly been like bouncing like guitar tracks and stuff for me. I do a lot of like, I'll usually write a bunch of stuff, or Grace will send me like, this is how it usually happens. This is how it happened for our latest one, Fire. Grace sent me a song that she wrote acoustically, and I was like, can I do some weird stuff with it? And then I just like add some random stuff to put some random stuff together, and then I'll throw it at Sam and be like, make sense of this.
yeah.
Yeah,
so that's pretty much bang on how that goes down.
So you've been creating music while in lockdown, not together, and putting together songs.
Yeah.
Wow, that is
trials about.
I mean, the song Fire literally was like, I think from the sort of like beginnings of that were probably when we last all met together in person. It's about a year ago, last week, wasn't it? We had like a little
it was a year ago on St. Patrick's Day.
We had like a little curry night at my flat and all just sort of met together. And I think
because we didn't want to go pub on Paddy's Day.
I think you'd shown us the little like demo for Fire then, and we were like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's see where it goes, and just sort of work with it. And then from then through to when we released it in November, we've pretty much just been like bouncing things back and forth between one another, and just recording when we can with what we've got, really.
Sorry, Alex.
We've been very like grassroots with our sort of recording stuff. It's been like if someone's offered us some studio time, it's been like, yeah, we'll do that right now. I've spent a lot of my student loan on like getting recording equipment together, and I've got like a sort of semi decent studio set up at home. So we've been using that when we can. And then like So we'll record it all there, and then it'll be like, oh, I'll do a mix, I'll produce it, and then we'll put it out. So it doesn't sound great, but it's us, and I think that's really, really cool when you're starting out, is just to have the like complete control and ability to do it yourself and stuff like that. It's so valuable. It's so valuable and really fun as well. Like if you're into it, it's so fun.
Yeah. So what influences you guys? Like what sort of sounds, if people haven't heard of All Over Again, what would like your sound, what well-known bands would people like influence from you guys would react to?
So many.
Yeah,
so many.
There's
Chuck
the
some
obvious
out there,
Paramore,
just
who's
so-
female
Yeah.
vocalist, but like
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's sort of like, it's almost become like a curse word towards female bands nowadays, saying, oh, you sound like Paramore. But if you say that, there's like a 50-50 chance you're gonna get a slap around the chops. But I mean, we all like Paramore, so it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Like we all like Paramore, but then there's some people that are just like, ugh. And you're
I
like,
don't want to be that band.
Yeah.
Aside
no,
from them,
no need to be rude.
like current who are kind of like that old pop rocky kind of sound. That's one of the songs we cover in our practices is by them.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, me and Ashton are really into our Bring Me the Horizon and Avenged Sevenfold, who doesn't sound anything like
Heavy
us.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's how we got into like knowing each other. And then there's like some more like instrumental proggy stuff with a band called Polyphia, who have been more inspirational recently when we've not been able to do as much like live stuff, and there's a lot more techie things and techie production going on in our songs. That's just some of my influences.
I like to kind of like
we share.
Just like throw together whatever. Like I never like to stay in a box because I get too like, I guess like creatively like stuck. I'm like, I want to do this thing. I listen to like rap and stuff. I'll add like 808s and things. I'm like, I want to do this. Like, why shouldn't I be able to do this kind of thing? So I never want to be like that band that just does rock and kind of like sticks to the same thing.
That's so cool. So yeah, so like you passed your tracks, you have Fire, and then what was the other track called?
Breathe Me In.
Breathe Me In, Breathe Me In. And these guys, these are on Spotify as well. So if you guys want to check them out after this podcast as well, you can check these out on Spotify. I was listening to them the other day in the shower. They're great. So good.
You know, if a song's good to listen to in the shower, then it's like at least semi-decent.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, we're on like
Put that in our bios on all our socials now. It's All Over Again. Official shower music.
All Over Again. Great to listen to in the shower.
Yeah, definitely. So like I heard you guys had some news to tell some people tonight.
Yeah, we do. I'd say so, yeah. I mean, Grace, go on, take it away.
Oh, me. Okay. So we have been, obviously, like we spoke about, we've been doing like recording and stuff during lockdown. Although that has been a bit of a faff, we have got quite a lot done. It might have involved me making a fort to record in, but if you want to see that, I will be posting that to our socials at some point. So if you want to see my fort, it was pretty cool. It was like Ash's favorite thing. We sat on Discord while I was recording and he was just crying at me in a fort. I had to pin up like quilts and blankets and stuff in like a triangle in my spare bedroom, just like using the door frame and everything, trying to get all of that stuff done. But we've managed it with a lot of issues along the way. And next month, we will be releasing our 4-track EP that has been in the works for about 4 years. But yeah, that should be, if everything goes according to plan during this week, it should be released on April 30th on all streaming platforms and stuff. We hope to maybe do a physical release at some point in the future. So let us know if you want that. Talk about it in the comments and all that kind of jazz. Message us, whatever you want to do, let us know. Yeah, that's our big news. We will be doing obviously a big post on the socials and stuff like that in the future, but we wanted to let you guys know first because you've come along to the podcast and you've come to spend time with us, which is obviously what we want, and we want to spend time with you guys. So you guys get to know first.
That's amazing. That's amazing. at all the comments now. Everyone's buzzing.
Yeah.
Right, amazing, woo, well done, fire.
That's
I'm
what we
gonna
like
cry,
to see.
Liam West.
Oh, Liam.
I
Liam.
saw in the
Oh my
news
God.
today as well. CDs got replaced by what's it called? Like for the first time since
Vinyl.
1987
Vinyl,
from vinyl since
Yeah.
1987. That would be amazing. Imagine if you guys
Yeah.
just released it on vinyl instead of like
Yeah.
don't do CDs, just release
You
some
know
like
what?
limited
We've
edition
toyed
vinyl.
with the idea. We've toyed
We're
with the
definitely
idea.
toying with the idea. And we've got one of our best mates is doing all of our EP artwork, and she's absolutely fab. And we've even got her looking at doing some physical stuff. So if you do want it, please let us know, because we're probably only going to do it on a pre-order basis if we do choose to do it, because obviously trying to flog vinyl if you've got too many is not an easy thing to do. So if anybody does want them, please like drop us a message, talk to us. Obviously we want to be able to talk to you guys and we want to see you. So yeah,
I'll be taking one of them physical copies as well, please.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So you've got this LP coming out, right?
Mhm.
What is next? So have you guys got anything booked for when you can, or are you not booking anything yet for like gigs or anything, or
We're looking into it.
you're looking?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it's hard, isn't it? Because like it's a whole live music thing. You want to book, you want to say yes, 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 but you don't want to let people down and be like, oh, sorry, it's
Yeah.
cancelled, sort of thing. Because you get all the hype up, and then it's like a lot of people, a lot of like music gigs and things are just like cancelling. You're looking forward to it. It's like, oh, not again. You think, oh,
It's
it's
one of
a
those
year,
things
it'll be sorted.
We've had so many offers from people in the past being like, oh, shout us when you want a gig. Shout. But it's like, we can shout all these people, but with the past year, you don't know who's still involved.
Yeah, you don't know
who's-
where still
You
open.
don't know what's going on anymore. Yeah, it's really difficult.
Well,
I've
we
just
got a good
seen in the
comment.
comments as well a question from Tegan.
Yes.
What is everyone's favourite song on the new EP?
Hmm.
That's so hard. It's like picking your favourite child, man. I don't know.
Ain't it?
Yeah, man.
And
I
for
think
Ooh.
For me,
for
it's
me
definitely
probably
Lie.
probably Lie. I'd say the same,
Yeah,
which is the last
same.
track. But don't
That's the only
skip.
one that no
Don't
one
skip to get to that.
Yeah,
one.
don't
Please
skip the
listen to
rest,
it.
please. Please
Yeah.
don't skip the rest.
See, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say five. I'm going to say five for me.
Really? Oh, nice.
They're all really good. The guys
Okay,
worked so
yeah.
hard on it. Like
We've worked like massively hard just recording it, but like the guy who's doing the mixing probably hates us at this point with the amount of notes that we keep giving back, but they are sounding amazing. Like we got one of them back the other day, and because like we're so used to doing it ourselves, when we're hearing it being done professionally, not that Sam can't do it, obviously. I love you, Sam. And what you do is amazing, considering like you don't have like the 10 years whatever experience that Rob has. So yeah, the guy who's doing our mixing is like one of the tutors at our uni. So he obviously has a lot more experience than we do. And he sent it back, and fire. I literally like I was sat on my floor and then I was laying down on my floor because I was like, oh my god. Like, it was so good. So
We all
good.
just
And like we
received
love
Snapchats of
we
Grace
love
just
hearing
like,
it that way.
"Oh."
Yeah, I sent Sam a Snapchat and I was like, I am floored. And he hadn't listened to it yet. And he was like, are you okay? I was like, no. Go and listen, please. I was like, listen to the tracks. This sounded so good. We're so proud of like what we've managed to achieve.
100%.
We just
So
hope
are
that
you all-
everyone that listens enjoys them as much as we do. Like,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're making music that
100%.
we enjoy. Because I think,
Yeah.
I mean, my philosophy with music is, well, when creating it, is very much like, if I don't like it, who will? Like, who is going to like it? Obviously, somebody will, but like, if I've got to play it for the rest of my bloody life, I'd rather like it too, you know? I
Mhm.
don't sit there and be like, oh, not this piece of shit again. Like, please.
Yeah, it's
Lovely.
really hard when you've like listened to it so much that in your head you get kind of numb to the song, and then you like it's your child, and then when you like send it out into the world, I'm kind of like done with it. Like I'm like I don't want anything to do with you anymore, but like I
Yeah.
still love the songs, but it's like
I think that's just basically because one of the songs on this EP is absolutely cursed.
It is.
Yeah.
Like
Because-
every
because
time we've gone to record something for one of the songs on the EP, something has gone wrong, and it's been literally every single element. Like something went wrong with the drums, something went wrong with the bass, something went wrong with the guitar, something went wrong with the vocals, and then when we got it back for mixing, it came back sped up, and we were like, Why is
Yeah.
this one song not wanting to be released? But we got it sorted.
Honestly.
It's been
It's
okay.
the oldest song
We've
as
got
well.
it done. Yeah, it's the oldest song.
Yeah.
First song we wrote as a band. Well,
Mhm.
when we were like starting out, like this song's been a song since like 2016. This is probably the 6th time we've tried to record it now, and it's just such a mess. It's such an easy song as well. It's the most bare bones, like just straight up rock tune, and it just is like no.
I want to
Sod
say
off,
as well,
mate.
these
That's
are
probably like the one that everyone's going to love the most then, because it's like that way of thing of like it's not trying to do it, but then it's just going to explode.
Yeah.
That'd be
So.
lovely.
It is, like, to be fair, that one is one that has been like a fan favorite among like our friends that have heard us like practicing and stuff like that. That one has been a fan favorite, so we are hoping that like obviously it lives up to that hype that it's had so far.
It will.
We're really overselling ourselves here with this. Jesus.
We really are. I feel like we really are. I've seen in the questions as well, like a couple of people have asked a couple of bits. So one of them was asking like how much we'd actually sell the like physical copies for. Currently, like we don't know. We don't know how much that costs just yet. Like we've been looking into different things, but because we want to do it on like a kind of pre-order basis, like that kind of affects how much they cost, because some places charge you more to do it as a pre-order, but then some places don't. So we need to try and like work out what will be best for us, and work out like how we can do it like the most, like with the best logistics kind of thing, so that we can actually get it out to you guys like quick as well, because obviously we don't want you waiting like 2 months for a vinyl or whatever.
Product as well. We don't want to give you like just a
we want it to be a good product, and we want everything to be exactly the way we want it. Like we want to be able to get samples and stuff of it, and stuff like that before we send it out to you guys, because we want to make sure that you're getting exactly what you want. I keep seeing Liam just saying that he'll pay anything, and it's like, no.
It's so true though. It's the same with my brand. Like I will try things. I want it perfect, so I'll go over and over and over, and I won't release it till I'm happy with it and perfect. And it's like anything, obviously with your music, then the artwork speaks for your music too. Because if people just see online on these websites like, oh, that's great, amazing artwork, I'll check that out, and then they play like 30 seconds of your track. It's a new fan just from like the artwork, for example, and just like random things like that. It's what people resonate with. Really like trying to make sure it's right, as well as the visuals. Like I've seen her in the chat lurking every now and then. Kaylee, she's done all our artwork this time around. Usually that's something that I've done in the past as well. Which holy shit, such a stress not having to do it this time around, and the mixing too.
Big stress.
So easy. Like
music. And that's it.
But yeah, no, she's smashed it. Absolutely great. Can't wait to sort of like show some of it. We've got quite a lot of extra little bits out of it to sort of post on our social media over the next like month or so before it comes out. So, we hope that we're not overselling it again. But yeah, again, it really quality, and it's really hard to get that like quality product. Obviously, like nervous going into it, working with somebody that's not within the band, but like, it pays off so well. But yeah, making sure getting a quality product is the most important thing end of the day, because it can make or break like music, in my opinion. I've straight up deleted songs from my like iTunes library or Spotify library because I was like, it doesn't look good. So I just the song might be great, but it looks like shit. So I just not saying it.
Yeah. Oh, we've got some more.
Yeah, like nice posters would be good as well. Do you know, like these little ones and stuff like that? I used to tell you what, I used to go to gigs when I was like 16, 17 up to like 22, 23, and I used to steal the posters inside like Manchester Apollo, Manchester Arena, everything. Like the gig set times and stuff like that. I used to have it on my wall. I went away for the summer. I come back and they'd all been thrown away, and like all my wallpaper changed. I was like, I was collecting all them and all the gig ticket stubs and everything.
Yeah,
they've all been taken down. I was like, but yeah, I love collecting them. I think a lot of people love collecting them as well.
Same. I absolutely love collecting stuff like prints and things like that. It's like, it's so much fun. And like we're decorating like our spare room and stuff, and my mum was like, you can put posters up if you want. And I used to have posters all over my walls when I was a teenager, and like I fully was just living for the fact that I could make a room look like just a massive Kerrang pull out again.
I was going to say, were they Kerrang posters? Because I think everybody our age, if you didn't have
Everybody.
a wall or
Yeah,
all your
I used to
walls
have
were
I
Kerrang
used to have a subscription to Kerrang magazine. My mum bought it me for like 3 years, so I've just got like a stack of Kerrang magazines in my loft because they don't sell it in print anymore. So I'm like, I need to keep them. It's like a relic.
Yeah, I found all my old posters the other day when I was back home before I moved back over to Nottingham. I found all my old Kerrang posters. Like, wow, I used to like some, but I didn't even know who half these bands were. And I'm like, oh, I love this band. Why don't I have this poster?
Same.
What's wrong with me?
It's just like
Same.
time.
I found so many of ones that like I never bothered to put up before because I didn't know who they were. And then like I looked through and I was like, oh my god. It was so fun.
So Ash, have you got like a dream venue you'd love to play at?
A dream venue. Oh my god. I've always wanted to. This is pretty big. Like, it's not like Wembley, but I've always wanted to play at Download.
Yeah,
Just because
Yes.
that's like close
Big
to
time.
home. It was the first gig kind of thing I went to because I went when I was like 16, maybe 15, 16, and it blew me away. And with it being so close to where I live, I was like, I want to play here someday. So, you know, if Download's about and it's on and all this, you know, stuff dies down and we could play it, that would blow my absolute tiny mind.
That's long-term goals here.
Yeah, like I said,
Literally, all of us will just be like, please.
I would be on the floor
Rock
for
City
about
as
3
well.
days.
yeah,
Rock
Rock
City.
City,
Mm,
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
Rock
Yeah,
City,
being a Nottingham
absolutely.
fan, that's like, you know, the top of Nottingham. If you've played Rock City main room,
Yeah.
that's your stripes. That's Nottingham completed, really. I'd
wow.
say.
Yeah,
Aside from the arena, but like, yeah,
yeah,
That kind of
Download first. God.
segues us into like
Yeah.
the question of what's some local or small artist you love.
yeah.
There are,
Um,
for me, I think like, and I think Sam will agree. Sam would probably say the same thing. Fast Car to Florence.
That's got,
Some
yeah,
got
they
me
were.
yes.
They're not a band anymore, unfortunately, but they were really good.
Yeah, they split
And
up
then-
over lockdown.
Yeah, as December falls, they've been popping off recently. They're really
Yeah,
good.
I really like
Yes.
that stuff.
Yeah, I really,
Yeah,
I,
so,
really,
so
I
good.
really enjoy a band called Kelsey and the Embers.
Mm.
They're
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
fellow Nottingham band that on sort of the same scene. They're really good.
They are so good. Like when we first saw them supporting Fast Car to Florence, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, we first saw them supporting Fast Car to Florence, and like I think I'd seen Kelsey on the like on the music circuit round them, but then like when we actually went to see them, like actually hearing her voice properly, I was like, holy hell, this is amazing.
Yeah, they're good.
Really
Like
good band.
some of it, honestly, like just like notes just like flew out of her mouth, and I was like, oh my. Like because I've obviously like been a singer songwriter for so long as well. Like I love hearing just like proper raw vocals and bands like that, and because she always plays acoustic, and then everything else is like either electric or like a cajon for the drums, and I just think it sounds so nice. Like it's such a good like raw authentic sound that I really like. But there's quite a
They're
few
similar, wasn't that one, weren't they, Grace? Because I
Pardon?
think she started out as a singer-songwriter like you.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, I
joined
think so.
a band
She got a
to-
band, I think, like
Yeah.
around her, which is good. But there's quite a few like Knots acts that I absolutely love. Like there's a good few bands that I've seen live and that I've like made connections with. So like Left Hand Lane, brilliant. Like the boys in that band are absolutely hilarious, and like they're just so nice as well. Pretty Babs as well. I've known those guys since I was like 15, 16. And like absolutely love them. And then another one is actually the person who asked this question, Tegan, is in a band called Tigs. And I really love their sound. Like they're proper, like they exactly what she hears in her brain gets like put into the music, and I love that.
Crazy.
Like
It's
I
really
love
hard
that.
to do as well, like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Like because she doesn't like play instruments herself, but she can be like, I know that what I want this to sound like, and I know what I want this to sound like, and she can compose an entire song in her brain and then just like put it out there. And it's like I can't fathom that. Like I can kind of do that, but then like these guys do something different and I'm like, yeah, that's better. Like that is so much better.
You
Do that.
it too, Grace. We'll be there like, oh, try this with the vocal line. You'll be like, just 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm like,
I did that yesterday when we were in studio.
Not that
Yeah.
we've been writing new music again or anything. God, why would we be doing that?
No, not at all.
Oh yeah, I want to say as well, like the distance we've come since like writing the other songs, they're gonna be like very different in future. Like I
Yes,
feel like
Yeah.
we've grown so much.
very, very different.
Yes,
Like we've used a lot of different influences for each one, I think.
Mhm.
Mm,
So
Yeah.
they're all quite different from each other. But like the future ones are going to be like a lot more like mature. I feel like because we've grown closer together and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
You know, well, some of the older songs on this EP, you know, me and Ash wrote when we were teenagers. When I like,
Yeah.
it pains me to say, but we're like mid-20s now. Like,
Yeah. Oh, my head's getting a bit grey.
Mm.
Oh, mate, I tell
Ah.
it's, like, it's a lot of growth. It's a lot of growth.
Yeah.
Ha.
Yeah. Oh,
So what I was
Oh,
going
yeah.
to say as well is like with the clothing brand community, it's quite close. A lot of people are always like messaging each other, like DMing, stuff like that. Is that the same in like with bands? Do bands chat to each other, see how they're getting on and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Because I've never spoke to a band before, like on my podcast, so I've got all these cool questions that I want to ask.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get all the insights. You wanna
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how it goes down. Yeah. I mean, constantly, I know, as well as on the band account, but on our personal accounts, we'll get messages being like, oh, hey, you know, I'm in this band. Do you want to check us out? And, you know, likewise, we do it too. You know, it's promotion for yourself. And also it's making that connection. If somebody does reply, then you've got, especially if they're in a different city as well, you know, if you want a gig there, it's like, hey, we spoke. I liked your music. You liked ours. Do you want to put on a show? Because, you know, when you are a smaller band, it's harder to get promoters to bite a lot of the time. It's really difficult. It's like not a lot of people, you know, on the outside, if you're not involved in the music world, you probably think it's like, oh, you know, they're a band, they want to play a venue, they go, hey, I want to play a gig here, and the venue just goes, okay, stage next week. You have to beg, you have to grovel, you have to sit on these venues like porches, like please let me in. I'll be really good. I will sell tickets. People will come. I promise.
Yeah,
it's so difficult. Like
it's a constant thing of just messaging as many venues as you can, as many times as you can. Just basically pester them, badger them, and irritate them until they finally go, fine. Just want to give you a show.
Yeah.
And you've got to blow that show away as well.
You really do have to. Yeah.
I feel like
one bad show and you're done.
It's good to grow like a support system as well. Like we've got so many cool people around us, like hyping us up and making us feel good, which is part of the reason why we're doing everything we're doing now. I feel like,
because like it's really nice. Like a lot of the people on like the Nottingham circuit, because we've got a place called the Creative Quarter, which is basically loads of venues and like the creative college and creative like aspect of the university as well. Like a lot of people will talk to one another and want to do things together and do like collaborations and stuff. Like there was a gig that I played just at a pub in Nottingham, and one of the bands that I mentioned earlier, Left Hand Lane, the lead singer of that band like came along to my gig because his friend was playing, and like when I was playing, like filmed it and put it on his Instagram just as like just because he enjoyed what I was doing and was like, check out this girl, like this is great. And I was just like, that is so nice, because so many people, if they're also not a musician, like a lot of people don't think to do that, and they don't think that like obviously just showing that tiny little bit might get other people to watch and stuff like that. So a lot of the people around here are super supportive and want everybody else to do well. Like some people are a bit competitive, but those are the kind of people that you can see that straight off the bat. Like if someone's not gonna be a good person to do a gig with and stuff like that, you know straight off the bat. But it's quite good. I think, speaking of like doing like supporting gigs and stuff like that, someone's actually asked in the questions like, who's your dream artist that you'd love to support? I feel like I've got too many people. I think definitely one of mine would be You Me at 6. Like they have been my favorite band since I was about 10. And like I think if I actually got to meet them and if they heard my music, I'd die. But but it
Tweet
would
him.
be,
Get on Twitter. Tweet
it
him.
would be brilliant. Right, the guitarist liked one of my comments on Instagram, and I sat there for like 5 minutes, like. I think
That is 100% true.
yeah, it's like, they can vouch. It's 100% true.
Yeah. I think for me, I'd have to go either. I'm going to go probably either Muse.
I knew that was coming. I could have
As
said
a long
Muse,
time
by
goal,
the way.
or you'll get this one as well. Or I think as more, I'd say more achievable goal. I'd love to support the Struts. They're a Derby-based band. They've really blown up in America, and they've done like sold out tours with the Foo Fighters and that sort of thing. Their lead guitarist drinks in my old local pub. I'd love to be able to just come support them for a few shows now if they tour the UK again. So if anyone watching, please,
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey,
Spirit,
oh,
there's
it's
so
sick
many
bands,
famous
though.
people that watch this podcast you guys wouldn't believe. It's,
Well, you know what? My
Yeah,
mum's
lots,
just
yeah.
commented and was like, "What about Fleetwood Mac?" It's like that's an absolute dream. But if Stevie Nicks happens to be watching this podcast, like,
we're all over again.
that's like we're all over again.
Our DMs are open anytime, please.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like metal bands as well. But like, I'm also like, we're not, we don't kind of
We're
fit
not
the
that
mold.
anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so hard to decide, isn't it? Like,
We have
It is.
so many bands.
so
I
before
mean, against the
COVID,
current would bang, but like that's just because they're the same sound as us. It'd be really great for us in terms of like gaining fans, but
so before COVID hit, do you guys like when you're gigging? Do you have like any annoying traits like that you don't do any other time except when you're like practicing, or does anyone do anything annoying?
I do annoying stuff.
Yeah.
It's me.
When do you do?
everyone has noise.
We all do little things.
Like when I'm doing a gig, I'm okay with obviously like talking to the audience and stuff like that, especially if I'm already comfortable with them. But when it's like new people or people that matter a lot to me, like coming along to a gig, I just have an absolute brain fart when I'm trying to like talk in between songs, and I'm just like,
It's great to watch. It really is.
shut up. Shut up. And it's like, and there's some stuff that I say introducing certain songs that people either find funny or they want to smack me. And it
Is that your
and
band face or the audience?
the audience. It just basically depends if people like Shrek or not. There's a Shrek joke in there that I make every single time.
Every time.
Do you want to do it?
It's a trademark. Okay.
They're going great. It's
I
fun.
do a
Show
cover of Hallelujah, and rather than actually saying what the song is, I'm just like, you'll know this song if you have ever seen Shrek, and if you haven't, go watch Shrek, because like deadpan, dead serious. I'm just like, go and watch Shrek.
You're doing the Lord's work right there.
Yes, precisely.
I think people haven't seen Shrek in like in now like nowadays. Like, what's wrong with you, man? It's
Exactly.
great.
Yeah, but it's really scary to think that like Shrek came out in 2001.
Whoa.
Kids these days won't have seen Shrek. And that's really sad.
Come on,
Grace
Shrek
will
to the
keep telling
masses.
them.
Shrek. But like,
I'm hoping
what else
everyone
do we
that's
have?
watching is watch Shrek because there's some pain coming if you haven't.
I know, right? There'll be actual like, just no.
For me, like before a gig, I always need. This is like TMI. I always need to wee like a lot. I'm like, I need to be stage ready. I don't want to be.
You
sitting on
do as
stage
well.
I already need to go.
Yeah.
So I'll
I think.
spend a while in the
I think
toilet.
I'm not sure if it's an annoying trait. One thing I do before I go on stage is I have to get the Dutch courage, so I have to have a few beers, and it's up to. I play in another group, a covers act, and we do like called Section 47. We do pubs and clubs, and it's up to our lead singer Kieran to make sure I don't drink too much before I go on stage. That's my thing.
We've got to keep Alex loose, but not like.
Not too
always-
busy.
Yeah, we've got to make sure that he's not like paralytic, but that he's got like, but that he's like, oh yes.
Boys,
There's-
stage
there's-
ready.
there's a
Get that
there's a
buzz in.
line, and we have to make sure that he does not cross it.
Just hit that line just perfectly, and we're all right.
Yeah.
I'm always on that like 5 minutes before I got it. It's like I need a wee. Come
Yeah.
back from the toilet. Have I got enough drumsticks? What if I drop all my drumsticks midway through a song? Like, what if I drop 6 pairs? What now? It's like, and then I sit there for like another minute. Like, Sam, we're playing for 30 minutes. Like, you're not gonna.
Yeah.
No, that's not gonna happen.
You're not going to
What if
break
my
6
cymbal
pairs of
falls off?
drumsticks.
What if my cymbal falls off? What do I do? That's happened. Oh, I think our first gig, when me and Ashton played our first gig together, I remember like one song, I like for opening note of a song, smashed my cymbal to go in, whee, just flew straight off.
Wait,
I think like midway through another one went, and I was just sort of like, what now?
How has this happened?
I think that like Rough Trade, you dropped a cymbal or something. I went to throw it back at you, but you already had another one.
Yeah,
So I felt
that's
really
it.
good about
I dropped a drumstick forwards, and like mid through the song, I was like, there's like a little drum break in one. You sort of like picked it up, threw it back, and it was like, in hindsight, I was like, I wish I'd caught that because it would have been so
Yeah.
slick. But like, I think I just sort of ended up ducking. Like,
I was waiting
like
for you
a
to say that it just like hit you in the shoulder or the head or something. Just like, ah!
I think I did finish the set with that stick though, so it's
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I
that's
guess,
an
like,
interesting.
I guess every band must have before they go on things they do, like to get in psych and everything, and like anyone really in sport or anything like that. I wonder what like the biggest musicians in the world do.
We have
Yeah.
a stupid one that we do before every
Oh,
practice.
Yeah.
no, don't bring it up.
Namaste.
we're doing it. We're bringing it up.
So,
Are we?
have you ever seen that video? It was like a meme on Facebook, I think a good few years ago. And it was like the Grinch in a yoga class. And he just sits there and he's like,
Oh
but
yeah,
screams on the way down.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like, if anything's going wrong in a practice, we all just look at each other and we're like, just like, kind of do that. But like before we start a practice, we all kind of look at each other and just go, namaste. And just begin. Like, we all clap in sync and just say namaste. And I don't really know how it started. I think there was just like on one of the first like rehearsals that we had, one of us had a bad day.
Alex, wasn't it?
No, it was the reason that started. It was our old singer. Remember, she got herself all worked up because the security guard who works at wherever we're rehearsing at the time was been a bit of a knob, and it really sort of got to her. When she was in the rehearsal room, she was like pacing, getting up, like, irate. I think me and Sam looked at her and went, "No, just calm, just namaste." And she just couldn't stop laughing. It really cheered up, so it sort of stuck.
It's been like the go-to before every practice, or if someone's like having a bit of a moment in practice, we'll just someone will stare and go, "Namaste, man."
It helps
It's
us like
fine.
decompress. 'cause
Chill.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. It does. It's such a stupid little thing, but we all just stand there and we're like, ah.
Yeah.
Better.
I think
Yeah.
the most nerve-wracking part is like where you stood on stage and like the lights go down and you have to play like the first notes. But after that,
It's the first note that gets you every time.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just pure
Especially-
adrenaline after that.
Get through,
No
get
matter
through
how
that
many
first
times
song.
you practice it.
Yeah.
No matter how many times.
Mine's always like, if you ever, like, if I go to sing a song, I'm like, all the words are gone. I don't know any English now. I walk on and I'm like,
Excuse
what's
me.
English?
Yeah, I think my big thing is like I'll walk on. I'm sort of right. Strap my bass on, plug in, drum my counts in, and I have to like, and I have a moment of pure panic, like I'm on the right fret.
Yeah.
Start the song. So starting the song on the wrong note really wouldn't go down well.
Wouldn't bode well.
Yeah.
Do you guys take any lucky mascots on stage or anything that
I saw that and I wish. Now I wish. I'm
it
like,
could be something new because you've not done a gig yet? You guys could take something on and be like, "Hey, this is a teddy bear at the front of the stage. Say hey" or something.
This is our lucky mascot. Should we make it my Luxo ball?
Yeah,
I don't know where it
yes.
is.
I'll take your lots of Teddy.
I feel like it might help with the.
Oh yeah,
nerves.
the Pixar ball. Pixar
The
ball.
Luxo ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one. We're having
Yes.
that. We're stealing that. That's it now.
It's the best investment I ever made.
Got a question for Jonathan.
Oh yeah, thank you, Tegan. So what I'd do, I'd have to ask them what influenced them. I think fire would be good. Fire resurgence, because obviously you guys got together and then lockdown hit, everything hit, and you was ready to go. And obviously, I guess it didn't mess with you stressing mentally, like, oh, we're ready to launch everything, and then everything hits in lockdown. But maybe like to do with fire resurgence, like a phoenix coming out of the fire, like you're ready to be reborn again. You've got your new gigs out, you've got your new LP out, you've got all these things coming from like a bad situation, and now you've been able to work on it, and you're just going to get higher and higher and bigger, which is like basically what Phoenix is.
Yeah.
So I guess something along that. But obviously, I'd have to ask you guys what influences you, and then see what can put together.
We've got one from
should
Sean
definitely
as
do
well.
this.
Like, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to each of you on stage? And I think
I
have a
really
good
hope you're going to tell the
for
story.
this.
I think I really
Yeah.
hope you are.
it just hit me. So, we're playing in like our first band. You know, it was pretty like metal and stuff, and like. I played guitar for a long time, and I sit in my room and just play guitar. So I like to shred. that was me.
I don't think I know the story.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Yeah, I think you do. So we were playing our song. It got to like the solo part, and I was like doing my thing. And then after that song, this guy shouts out, and he's like, "Play as a solo." And I felt so awkward. And I played him a little something, and then like. After the gig, like we were outside, and then he's like, "You've got great fingers."
I remember that guy.
What?
And he was like, he was so like it was his child. He was like, "Don't hurt those fingers. Don't do anything to those
Yeah,
fingers."
it was. 'Cause
And I was like, I thought this guy was gonna leave with my fingers.
I had not heard this story before.
Wasn't that a gig where you guys were supporting my other group?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, we were supporting
that
that
one.
section.
He's supporting Section
He came
47,
up to me as well after as well. He came up to me after he talked to you. He came up to me and goes, "Listen here, come for a pint with me right now." And obviously, I think I was like just 18, so I was like, free booze. I ain't gonna say no. So me and the singer of this band went to the pub with him, and he goes, "Right, like guitarist, right? If you don't push him more, if you don't get him out there, I'm gonna have him off you." It was proper threatening, just like, "I'll take him from you." I know many bands that would love somebody like him. So you treat him good, or I will poach him from you. It's just so it's like our fucking like first or second gig ever.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It got us into like the
myself.
You know, when you think of like what's the worst that can happen, it got us into it pretty well.
What's the worst that can happen? This.
My fingers can get stolen.
Yeah.
I don't know what's.
He was okay, but like it just felt a little like weird.
It was just so intense. Yeah.
I wasn't threatened for my life, but like
Yeah.
I think I know. I'd say for me was and then as Sam and Ash will remember this because again it was my other group were playing with their guy band Russian Sims. Remember when we were playing that gig at the Vic and it was the night before Less Than Three Fest and the PA exploded.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was our singer's fault. Sorry, but
yeah. So what happened was we got to the gig setting up and I think whoever was doing sound was a little bit inexperienced or something. So we started putting some really low end channels through the monitors, and it overloaded them, and just the PA went out.
Yeah.
So what was so this gig was meant to like start at 7 o'clock and then finish at 11. I don't think these guys went on because it was these guys and also in a band called Further Than Forever, who they're an amazing band. I'm not sure what they're doing in a minute, but anyway. So what was meant to start at 7 o'clock, finish at 10. I think these guys first went on like 9:30. The gig didn't finish like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
They blew up like 10 minutes before we were due to go on as well.
Due to go on stage, yeah.
Yeah, it was literally
it was just as you finishing your sound check, and it went bang.
So we were like, "What?"
Yeah, brand new PA system as well for this festival.
I do have a question.
Oh,
sorry,
I don't know.
Because I can think of one for you.
I can think.
No, I can think of the same one. I think.
that gig where the old man made me piss myself while I was playing, or the woman that poached me to dance?
Both.
They were
'cause it was
both. They were at the same gig.
Yeah.
So this one gig, I think, felt the most embarrassment I've ever felt in my life.
It was secondhand embarrassment
Because
mostly.
yeah, it was secondhand embarrassment, which somehow felt worse. So I was playing, and this guy was just walking up and down the pub, like pacing, and he was just like jamming to himself, like dancing along. And then at one point, he was fully dancing with himself, and I just like someone looked at me in just the way that I was like, no, I can't now. And I was in the middle of a line, and I just started like laughing. Not quite crying, but very, very close. And I was like, I'm singing. And someone fully just looked at me. I was just breaking. Like, I got so far into the song as well. I think I made it to like the bridge. Like, I'd made it so far into this song. And then I looked at someone and I was like, I shouldn't have looked at you. Because I was like, they were laughing at this guy dancing. And I was like, no. And I tried not to look at the guy as well, because he kept coming like slightly too close to the PA and stuff, and it wasn't mine. So I was like, oh, no. And I just like, please. And Sam was at this gig, and I looked at him, and he was just like,
I was just putting that hand over my mouth.
And just wouldn't look me in the eye. And then after I played, this same man came up and was like, let me buy you a drink. And he was definitely drunk himself, right? But I wasn't going to turn down a free cider, as Sam said. I wasn't going to turn down a free drink, especially after that experience. But I was like, right, I'm going to come up to the bar, though, because I don't want you handing me this drink if I haven't, like, seen it. Because I'm not stupid. So I was just like, right, I'm going to come with you and I'm going to see what to buy. Because I was like, I've not really actually had a drink in this pub before, so I don't really know. And I went up, and actually, like, even the bartender was pissing himself at this guy. And I was like, I can't take any of this seriously. I can't order a drink with you because you're pissing yourself at him. I can't talk to him because he's not getting out a sentence properly. And then after that, it was the band that I was supporting played after, and they were playing like a lot of like feel good, like older kind of tunes. And this woman just came up to me and just absolutely poached me for a dance. And I was like I didn't know her. I didn't know this woman. And she just came up, and I swear to God, it was so embarrassing because like Sam and then another one of our friend Alex, they were sat there just watching this happen. And the woman was asking me if either of them were my boyfriend, and my dad was also sat there, and I was like, no. And then she was just being extra weird, and I was like, and then she was like slow dancing with me. This woman was slow dancing with me to a not slow song. And I was just like, I don't know what to do with myself. And another one of my friends was at the pub, and he was just sat in the corner filming the whole thing. And just took a photo. And I literally was like, in this photo, like purely just being like, I need help. Somebody help me, please. And then she kept like going to the boys like, oh, one of you come up and dance, one of you come up and dance. And Sam wedged himself so far into the corner he could have been part of the wall.
I love
He
that.
did not help me in the slightest. Yeah, you left it to Alex, poor lad. She literally grabbed our other mate Alex by the shoulder, pulled him up. And she was like a tiny woman, and Alex is like 6 foot. She yanked him out of his chair and forced him to dance as well. And I was just like, I'm so sorry. I just ended up.
She pushed you two together as well.
Yeah, she just literally pushed me and Alex to dance, and I was just like, I'm so sorry. Then we were both crying because we both felt embarrassed, but it was also hilarious at the same time. So we were just cry laughing. Sam was sat in his chair again, part of the furniture, but also crying, and my dad was just there like absolutely no help. I was like, you're my dad, you're supposed to protect me.
Your dad was there. Yeah,
And I was like, "You're supposed to
charge up?
protect me." This woman, because she'd come in with a load of her friends, but none of them would dance with her because they weren't at the level of pissed that she was. So we were all just dancing. And my dad was just like, "Well, I wasn't going to let her like take you away. You were still like a foot away from me." I was like, "Yeah, but you didn't stop me from being embarrassed." He was like, "I wasn't going to do that though, was I?"
Love it. So I do have a question I ask every guest on the show. So it's usually, so I'll go with the question, but you just got to give one answer each. So me and Marcus, we're having a lovely dinner party, and you guys are with us as well. So who else would you invite to the dinner party and why? And you can have one person each. Usually it's 4 people, but you can have one person each. So it's even harder than usual.
This is
Can
the
be
question you
anyone
alluded
alive
to
or
before
dead,
yesterday.
dead or alive.
Right, okay.
And anybody.
Anybody.
Oh man.
So hard, isn't it, when it's one person?
That's a really
Alright.
tricky question.
Person.
Yeah, we're all just like,
Ooh.
what?
I mean, there's a really like easy one for me. My like big inspiration for drumming is the guy that used to play in the band Avenged Sevenfold. He passed away when he was probably about 12 years ago now. And I was like, that was gutting for me then. Because I got into the band, didn't really know as well. So when I found out about it, even though he'd been gone for like 5-6 years, it was like that hurt because he was like the sort of big inspiration for me playing. I'd learned their albums like front to back on drums, and so him, like Jimmy Sullivan from Avenged Sevenfold, hands down. If I could even just have a beer with the guy, like just one beer,
Yeah.
But like, yeah, dinner with him would be awesome. That'd be so cool.
I'm the same with the guitarist from Avenged as well. Literally, though, it's the same. Me and Sam were on the same wave. That's why we've like clicked so hard. Because like that was my inspiration to play guitar as well.
I think for me,
We've got a story about that as well. Actually, once we've done this question,
Yeah.
I think for me, I'd have to go with Peter Hook. He's the bass player for New Order and Joy Division when they were around. I mean, if it weren't for Joy Division, I wouldn't be a bass player now. If it weren't for him and his style of playing and the way he plays and the effects he uses and all that sort of thing, particularly more so with this band in his New Order days, is a massive influence on me from all the writing and all the playing. And I watch like his live streams all the time, watch his shows. He seems like a really nice dude. I'd love to be able to sit there and just interrogate him about stuff. And he's done so. I think that'd be my pick, Hockey.
Oh, this is so hard.
Crazy.
I feel like my obvious answer would be Stevie Nicks, so I'm not going to go with that.
Yeah, I couldn't expect
you've
it.
all got obvious answers, so you've got to spice it up a bit here. Well, they're obvious answers if you know us as people, but you don't know probably.
Anybody dead or
I
alive.
think I'd want to talk to Charlie Watts, who's the drummer of the Rolling Stones, because I saw them play when I was 18, right? This man made no facial expressions while playing. And when I see Sam play, like I took photos of him when we were rehearsing last week, some of the faces that Sam makes while playing, hilarious. Looking at Charlie Watts playing, literally looks like he's playing on like the Wii or something. Like he looks like he's playing an electric drum kit on Band Hero. And I was like, how do you play like that and have no facial expressions whatsoever?
Honestly, I want to ask him the same questions.
I'd want to know that because he genuinely just sits there and he's like,
Guess he's
like,
been for so long, it's just monotonous.
Probably.
Really?
Probably. But I'd also I feel like he would be the best person to ask like the ins and outs of the stuff that goes on in the band, because I feel like if you tried to ask Keith, I don't know if he'd know.
Nothing.
I don't know if he'd know. Like with the others, it's like, would you actually know? Would you remember all of it? But I feel like yeah, but seeing them was amazing. Like considering the fact that they're all in like their 70s, and Mick was still strutting about the stage like he was our age. Like it was amazing. And just watching Charlie just have like absolutely deadpan straight face, I was just like, this is like, it made me laugh. I loved it. I was like, that kind of stage presence. I was like, that is either like you're really arrogant or you're funny. And I found it funny. So I feel like
some of those older bands, I'm like, how do you have the energy at this sort of age?
Exactly.
One of the first bands I saw live was Rush, and I did not appreciate it at the time. I was like 13. So glad I've seen them because one of my favorite bands now. But yeah, that was a quality gig, and I don't know how they had that kind of energy in their like 60s, 70s. And I go into download and stuff. I've seen like Sabbath, I've seen Ozzy on his own, seen Def Leppard, and all these sort of like nostalgia acts. And I'm there like, I haven't got the energy to walk up and down my stairs 3 times, let alone do like 2-hour set on like the main stage.
You've not got the energy to walk to your 3rd floor bedroom.
Mad. It's so impressive watching some of them as well. Like we sit here and talk about all these young artists that we like and we look up to, but at the end of the day, like artists like this that are still going, it's like if we could have a career like that and still be that active at their age, that is the goal, and it's so impressive. And just because we talk about these younger artists that we're into doesn't mean we don't like the bigger bands that are like the Godfathers and the Founders, because we know where it all links back. Because the amount of times I've talked to people who go, but you haven't talked about such and such, you haven't talked about Metallica, you haven't talked about, it's like, it's still like them. Like, don't get me wrong, but like
we've all got such like eclectic music tastes. I can listen to absolutely anything, to be quite honest. Like I've got really, really broad music taste, and like I can be listening to stuff like from even like the 50s and stuff like that, and then newer stuff. It's like there's no like I only listen to this or this kind of thing. Like we're all really broad, so like all of the people that we draw influence from and all of the people that like we'd love to meet and stuff like that are all so different.
A lot of my like favorite stuff,
into
it kind of comes from like video game music as well for me. Like that's a big part of my like sound library.
Shouts out to
be fair, some of that stuff slaps.
It does. Especially today, like
the Doom soundtrack, mate.
Yeah,
Doom soundtrack. Final Fantasy as well. I know it's big for you, innit?
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about Final Fantasy for fucking years.
I think that's what works with the band, because we all have very different sort of musical backgrounds, music tastes. Like we all apart, we all are very different, and even as influencers, we all bring it together. But it comes together, it really works, I think. So like, half the stuff I listen to that the rest of them wouldn't, and same thing with Sam, Ash, and Grace. The stuff they listen to, I would never would.
A lot of the times we'll bring albums to each other, and it'll be like, "Oh, have you heard this album? No, it's not really in my lane. Trust me, listen to it." And next practice, we'll all be like, "Wow, that was sick!" Like Billie Eilish, we're all really into Billie Eilish. Like we did a cover of her song "Everything I Wanted." That's again on our Spotify. Got to get that plug in there. But before joining the band, before like saying we should cover this, Alex had never heard of her or like never listened to her.
Well, I've never listened to her.
It's like, oh mate, quality. And then like Dua Lipa's most recent album, Nostalgia, so good. Like, that got snubbed at the Grammys, in my opinion. But don't get me started on the Grammys because I can because I mean, we're looking at doing some covers of that sort of stuff as well, but because covers are fun.
Yeah. There's a couple more questions in like the comments. Someone said, "Did they play instruments at school?"
Yes.
So I've sang since I was a kid. Because I went to Catholic school. As soon as they registered that I could carry a tune, I was shoved in the choir from the age of 7 through till I was 16 when I left. Like, it wasn't a choice. I was in the choir. So I've sang since then. And then my dad plays guitar as well. Like, I learned to play on his guitar. And I picked that up when I was about 14, 15, because I really wanted to go out and do gigs and stuff. And I knew a couple of people that were willing to put me on because they'd heard me sing, but they didn't know if I could play or not. So I made a point of learning the guitar in a couple of months so that I could go out and do gigs. And then that just kind of went from there. And then I've just like picked up different things along the way, really. Like I can play the ukulele now. This is mirrored and it confuses me.
Yeah, you're like...
I can play the ukulele now. And I can play the keys as well. But that's been kind of like through like the end of school towards like college time that I started picking those up. And I've not really done much else since then. But
yeah, for me, it's like I started getting into music like during like late, into school. I just started. I forget, secondary school. It was a long time ago, and I wasn't really that big into music and stuff, like at least playing it or anything. My friend Liam, who I'm sure the next question is going to be from, was like, he played a lot of acoustic guitar and stuff and was big into like music and playing music and stuff. I used to stay around his house and I was really like interested in it, but I couldn't really play. Played it a little bit. And then again, I heard Avenged Sevenfold. Specifically, I heard the song Nightmare that came out and I heard the solo from it, and it was so like weird to me, like the sounds and stuff that were coming out of it, like I guess the scale in my head was like really cool, and I was like, I need to learn this like one day. It's really hard, but I need to do it. And then I just got like, I get like super obsessed with things, so I was like, I need to learn it. I was like, parents, please, can I have a guitar? For ages, and obviously they were like, no, you know, I might not like it. And eventually, like, I bought this, like, if you can, like, if I go this way, that, no, yeah, I did it too. That little Squire there. Yeah, I just started playing it, and like, I'm the type of guy who would like sit in his room and like practice. And I know that sounds like boring as oak, but like, it got me to where I am today. So
I think for me is, well, I did pick it up when I was at school. When I first, I wanted to be a guitar player before I played the bass. But again, it's the same person that Ash mentioned, Liam, who's commenting. Him and my friend, our friend from school, Darius, he sort of, they were kept jamming together and, you know, playing like covers of Pixies songs and Joy Division songs, whatever else. And I come in, like, I think I just got a guitar sometimes. Like, oh yeah, I'm really excited to learn this. And was in rehearsal. I think one of them just went, don't need a guitar player. Yeah, I'll have that. And just handed me a bass. Right, that's what you're playing now. Okay, is it? Yeah, and it was Liam and Darius between them. They taught me how to play through school. I guess again, if it weren't for those two guys, again, I don't think I'd be where I am now. So
Liam seems like a big influence to you guys.
yeah.
He's commented like, Liam sounds great. Tell me about him. But
Before I go and like chat about my like getting into drums, one of our first gigs, we did play that song Ashton was on about, Nightmare, as our opener. But our bassist couldn't play it and sing it because he was both bassist and singer. So Liam came on and played the bass for us on that song. So, you know, for a brief moment, Liam has been a member of the band, and we should 100%, you know,
that's what I mean about like.
Yeah, he's always been around.
We love Liam. Give Liam some love. Yeah.
About having a good support system around you. That's exactly what I mean.
He's one of the best.
Yeah. And Sam.
So for me with drums, man, my mum bought me drum lessons. Like, well, I'd tried other like instruments before. You know, I had the like obligatory like keyboard and recorder lessons in primary school. You know, that's how it goes in the UK. If you don't learn recorder, like, what are you doing? She bought me drum lessons one Christmas. I didn't ask for them, just did it. Bought me 4 drum lessons where I was probably 10, maybe 11. And yeah, I've not looked back. You know, there was 4 drum lessons, and I just kept going to those every week. And yeah, now we're here. And then from that, I've, over the lockdown period, being in Nottingham, I've not had access to my drum kit a lot. So I picked up bass as well and coming for Alex's spot. Nah, I'm not that good. It's more just so I had another like string to my bow, because drums aren't particularly musical. You know, I don't have any like massive musical input, but at least with that I can express notes a bit more. And then also production and stuff like that. It's not really an instrument necessarily, but it's something that I've picked up really for the band, because, you know, none of us knew anything about it, and me and Ashton wanted to record stuff. So I was like, right, how do we do this then? Like, we used to record on my old laptop, with, instead of having like the big audio interface and mixing desk that you like typical see in like a studio, we just had my laptop and a guitar cable that, instead of having like two of these like ends, it was one of these going into a USB that you just plugged into the computer.
Yeah, they
and
call
stuff.
it
I've still got all these demos and stuff. Yeah. So that's how we used
cable.
to record. That's how we used to record stuff, and then we produce stuff, because I'd just be like, right, now we'll just sit and just play with it until it sounds okay, really. And then like to record drums and stuff, we'd just like, I'd send Ashton up into like the roof of my drum room with like a little headphone microphone and be like, right, just sit here with that. It's far enough away so it won't sound horrible, and that's how we recorded drums and stuff. So like, we've come a long way, and you know that is, to me, I'd say that's just so much. That's more of a story really for me about getting into music than drums, because drums are just something that I did, and then my real passion for music came when I discovered like recording and producing and being able to put it all on tape and visualize it and stuff like that. It's just really fun to me.
I can agree with that. Like recently as well, like I've gotten hardcore into like the way music sounds, like what works for songs and stuff, because I used to be that kid when I was like 16 that was like, I just want to shred over every song, like I don't care. But now I'm like, what works for this song? Like, how do I want it to sound? And I've gone like so much more into like the production side of things, like along with Sam, and like what makes it sound good rather than just like, I'm going to play what I want to play.
It's really cool. So each episode as well, we ask the question of like a quote. What is your quote? What quote? You all have a quote.
Hell yeah.
Go on. You lot can go first, because I'm kind of not really thought properly about this. We got told about this yesterday, right? For people that are watching, but like, how do you come up with a one quote to like summarize everything? It's so hard.
I've got like one, that I said to a friend that I've got in my notes. Let me just find it.
Notes.
Yeah, let me just pull up my Discord actually. You guys talk.
Oh dear. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, talk amongst yourselves.
I'm just going to regress as well while we're waiting, right, Tegan. I would not cry in the fetal position if I was stuck on a desert island.
Yeah, Tegan was like, if you were all stuck on a desert island, what would your role be? You feel like Sam would just go into the fetal position and cry.
Maybe for like 5 minutes. Maybe for 5 minutes here and there. Like...
See, it would happen. I think we all would, to be quite honest, though. What would we all do?
I think
fetal position and cry.
Yeah.
Armadillo.
Ashton, hurry up with your quote. I don't want to get bullied anymore.
Figure out who we'd eat first. Like, we're not gonna. You have to think about the logistics. So
I was more thinking like who would be in charge of like building a house, and who would be in charge of making sure that food is edible. That would probably be me.
Okay.
We could all cook it.
Okay.
Thinking about the worst. But my quote. So I said it to a friend and they thought it was good. So it's basically like if you're like feeling bad, about something, but you feel like other people's problems are worse and that you shouldn't feel bad, it's kind of for that. So I said, if you feel a way that's awful, then that's all that matters. I don't care if it's because you stubbed your toe and feel like your life is over because of it. Those emotions are real and they're all valid. Which kind of like works for like the pandemic and stuff, like everyone feeling like, oh, I shouldn't be sad because people have it worse, but it's still who you are and it matters.
It's really deep, that one. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
That's nice.
Yeah. And yourself, Grace?
I'm embarrassed about mine.
No, I love it. I love it.
No, Grace, it's good.
Mine is, how lucky am I to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard? And it's by Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, but that show was so like,
it's Winnie the Pooh.
deep.
That show was so deep.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily
It was
deep for a
so
show.
deep. No, you know
Really
what?
deep.
Some of those lessons are important to teach children.
Yeah, exactly.
They are.
Go on, Alex. Have you got anything just to save me?
I've got one. I won't say it's just a quote I've always really liked. It's from Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. It's the quality of one's convictions that determines success, not the number of followers.
Oh yeah.
I've
True.
always really liked that quote.
I mean, I can't really think of directly like a quote to pinch off of somebody, but I guess like I'd give more advice and just be like, if there's something you want to do, focus on it, stick to it, work on it, and you'll get there. Like it success of any form does not come overnight. It happens because you work on it. You know, like picking up an instrument. Day one, you're not going to be amazing. You're not going to, you know, shred an amazing guitar solo on your first day. That takes years. And you know, if you want it, you will put the years in.
It sounds like so cliche as well, but like, don't listen to people that are like, you know, people have told me for sure my whole life, like, you know, don't do this, it's not realistic kind of thing, because they don't really know what goes on in your head or how you know, how you plan to set about your life. And also they don't get to live your life, so them making them decisions for you kind of like will end up sculpting the way you go, and they don't have to deal with the consequences. So you might as well just live the way you want to and just try and push for whatever you want to do.
Good quote.
I'm sure that everyone that's on screen right now can agree with that as well, because we're all, you know, we're in a band. Nobody will tell you it's a good idea to be in a band.
Yeah.
You do, you know, you make clothes. Like, I'm sure when you started doing that, people are like, what are you doing that for?
Yep, still now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, stick to it and you'll get there.
Yeah. You know what? Anybody saying that to you still is wrong, because your clothes are mint.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Speaking of,
Over Day of the Dead.
yeah.
Love that.
That one.
So where can people find you on social media? So you've obviously got your Spotify, haven't you? So we just type in All Over Again on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our social medias and stuff are usually All Over Again or All Over Again UK. I think it's mostly UK, because some little pesk in the US stole the other one.
Oh,
So
we will have it one day.
We were like, UK. We represent where we're from.
Yeah,
it's usually either just All Over Again or All Over Again UK, like across the board.
So like, that'll be Twitch, Instagram, Twitter.
We're not on Twitch, are we? I know we've got everything else. We've got Twitch?
Yeah,
we've not got Twitch yet. Ashton has Twitch though. Ashton streams on Twitch. But yeah, the Twitter is All Over Again UK. The Instagram is All Over Again UK as well. And then the Facebook, usually you can just find us by typing in All Over Again.
And we're on all good streaming sites, so on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer. That one that got sued by Metallica.
Napster, yes.
And a couple of others. But yeah, most of your good music streaming sites, YouTube. Well,
yeah, we've got that.
We even have a TikTok we don't post on, but
yes, we do. Yeah.
We'll make fools of ourselves on there soon. Promise.
We have like a couple of videos on TikTok.
I was going to say, have you guys got videos on your YouTube?
No, we've got a couple of lyric videos for the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would you be looking at this year recording a video?
Yeah, we definitely.
Hopefully,
yeah, we're getting all the balls rolling right about now, because we're like, we're hardcore into it, like trying to get all this stuff done, and you know, actually giving people who have been with us for so long some products to like be like, okay, this is pretty good.
I think the whole idea of what we'd like to do is we'd like to do a music video for each song on the EP. So it's like a 4-track EP. We'd like to do one for each, and do something completely different with each one.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will hopefully come May, June time, when we can all get back together and get the ball rolling. We'll get them out for everyone to enjoy if we can.
So our boy Marcus with the questions. What advice would you give to people wanting to start a band or want to push themselves into the music industry but have the fear of failing stopping them?
Just keep going.
I think just keep doing it, and like look into, if like, it doesn't matter what age you are, but like look into like courses and stuff, because like I went to college rather than like a sixth form after school, because I don't like exams. I much prefer like practical based and coursework and stuff like that, and like rather than an exam, because I feel like just revising for something and then writing the answer and hoping that you remember it correctly, I don't think that that's a valid way of like assessing how smart you are or how good you are at something personally. Like, I think actively doing it, that shows how good you are at it. So like I went straight on and did music performance at college, and then I've carried on doing that at university. And it's like, it doesn't matter what age you are. Like there have been people on my course that were like 35 when I was 17 and stuff like that. Like, I think looking into how you can get yourself there and getting the right like connections and resources and stuff, because like if you go to the right places, like our university puts us in contact with people and gives us like an industry week where they invite people in to give us talks on like how to get into the industry and like how realistic certain things are and like how you can make those dreams reality better by doing stuff yourself. And I think just going out and doing it, because so many places do like open mic nights and like they'll book you on a gig if you message them and ask. Like it's just like getting the confidence within yourself to ask and to try and put yourself out there to do it, because that fear of failing, you only fail if you don't do it, I think. Because if you do it and then you decide you didn't like it or it wasn't a very good experience, try again, and if you still don't like it, then it's not a failure, it's just you learning that it's not something that you want to do.
Again, like you can make like really good friends as well. That's a really important thing to do, like networking and like
being active in your local music scene.
Yeah, make lots of friends.
That's really important.
The fear of failure is just a thought at the end of the day. Like, I know it's hard to say, like, you know, easier said than done, but it's just a thought in your head that you can just like not put any stock into and just keep going no matter what.
I think one of the things I'd say is a good thing is get into a band with people that are going to push you. So again, like with us, we all push each other to be better.
Yeah.
Again, like it's like when we're recording, we'll be like every lockdown we're doing it over whatever it's called. Yeah. So I was here, say playing away, and I get the whole thing of Sam. That was good, but you know you could do it better if you did it another way. The same thing with Grace. When I was in the sessions when Grace was doing the vocals, it was the same thing. That was great, but no, just doing the one. You could be better. Pointers, and having that as a network of for the four of us, I think he's done me the world of good. I think.
You've got to be like honest
100%.
and respectful at the same
got
time.
to.
Exactly.
You got to find that like right balance of comfort and discomfort. Like if you're too comfortable, it gets boring, it gets stale, you give up. If it's too uncomfortable, it's too difficult, it's not fun, and you give up. So if you sort of have that like right balance of like, I know what I'm doing, but at the same time, it's still a little bit scary, because that's what like sort of fuels you. It's having that fire under your belly, you know what I mean? Like just that little bit of drive. As long as you're driven, you'll be fine.
I think.
I mean, we've been a band for 5-6 years, and we're only just putting out our first music like last year, and only just putting out our first EP next month. Like we haven't given up.
The important thing I think is taking breaks as well. Like if I get in like a creative, wall, if you take a long break from something, you come back to it and you play. Like I play guitar completely differently if I come back like a month later, after I burn myself out on music and stuff, and I'll play like completely different things out of nowhere, or I'll listen to different music, and it'll just like refresh your brain. Because if you just keep hammering that wall, you'll just get frustrated and think, those thoughts will come into play. Like, I can't do it. I can't, I'm not good at this. That's why it's good to take a long break and be like, all right, take some time.
Don't be like too afraid of creative burnout, because it's going to happen. And when it does happen, you've got to know, okay, I'm going to take a step back now, work on something else, not even creative stuff, just, work on your health, work on...
Read a book.
I don't know, literally just chill out for like a week or two and come back to it when you feel ready. If you thought like you've got to force yourself to an extent if you want to make it like a career. That's a given. But when you hit that creative burnout wall, don't try and push through it. Take a step back. And that's advice that I wish somebody would have told me years ago.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Same. Like something that someone once told me was like, if you want to write, then do it, and like have a little book or something with you at all times to like put little phrases in and stuff like that. Or like I keep random stuff in my phone all the time. I woke up at 2 a.m. the other night after a weird dream or something. I woke up and I thought of something and I wrote it in my phone, and then I was like, right, time to go back to sleep. But like if something comes to you, don't let it go.
That's super important.
Keep it. And like, even if you then look back at it and you're like, that's bad. Keep it. because you never know you never know if it's going to come back again. Because like the other day, there was something that's been in my notes for like a year and a half, and I'd never used it because I was like, oh, I don't know if I actually really like it. I think this is actually kind of bad. And then Sam played me something the other day. I kind of made it fit, and then I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
And then like once me and Sam got into the flow of it, we wrote like an entire verse, pre-chorus, and chorus of a song. And then
Not that
in
we're
like an
writing
hour.
music or anything. God, no. The EP's not even out yet, and we're already promoting the next thing.
Yeah, innit?
Oh yeah, we're really excited about writing in general because like once we're getting close to like releasing stuff, we definitely want to like get back into just writing and
Absolutely.
enjoying like just playing whatever together, even if we don't release it, just creating together, having a load of songs so that next time we can be like, all right, which one of these many songs do we want to actually like release?
Oh yeah, we've killed off so many like songs. If it's not like instant banger, nah, get out.
Yeah.
That's very true.
No, I'm the same with my clothing. Like I've got stuff that I'm releasing on Friday, and then I know in a month and a half's line I've got these other stuff coming. And it's just like always constantly having new products, and like yourself with new music, you're constantly always working because you've got this amazing thing coming, then you want to do something more amazing and more amazing and more amazing. And it's constantly being in the flow, because if you stop being in the flow, you slow down.
Yeah.
And you sort of like you say, you do hit a wall, and like I burn out sometimes, but I know now just before I burn out, so I don't burn out anymore, but I used to, and it was horrible. It'd be like 2 days I just wouldn't do anything. But yeah, it's important to take care of your health and know when you're burning out, definitely.
Especially nowadays with COVID. I feel like I know this is definitely echoed with us four, because we've talked sort of quite a bit extensively about it, is nowadays, because there's so little to do, if you're not working on something, you feel like you're wasting your time. You're not.
Same.
Nowadays, it's really hard to schedule yourself. If there's nothing there to schedule you just feel like you're wasting everything. That's really easy way to get dragged into that negative headspace. So there's, again, keeping yourself busy, but not too busy.
It's kind of how we've been brought up as well, like just in like the terms of like society, but it's okay to like, it's literally okay to just lie in bed all day, one day, like watch Netflix. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like you're not doing anyone any harm by not working that day. You can just come out the next day even stronger, because you're not like, you know, again, like bashing that creative wall. You just come in like fresh, new ideas.
Yeah. Can I just interject with the comment that Liam's put a rap album when Liam, when you decide to come do the vocals for it?
Oh, yeah.
Who said I can't rap?
Can you rap?
Oh, don't give
I
us
mean,
that.
if you count water parks, yes.
What did Lynn say?
Water Parks or Machine Gun Kelly, then yes.
Give us your best rap god.
I'm not doing it. Rap god's
Eminem
Eminem anyway. No.
If we were going to do an album that's not in our sort of lane, you know, that's completely stylistically different, what would we do? Would we do a rap album? I mean,
maybe
80s synth pop is the way.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
Again,
that'd
like,
be
we
so
do
much fun.
love, like different influences. I always want to like keep pushing like our sound and like the types of things we put in songs and stuff. Again, like I used to listen to a lot of rap music, so I'm like, Sam, could we put 808s in here? We put the trappy drums.
There's like loads of 808s in our stuff. Fire's got loads.
Yeah, that's kind of what inspired Fire. I was like, I'm gonna do a weird, funky beat on this, and then we ran with it.
So how do you think your first ever podcast has gone? I think it's been amazing.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
So much fun.
Really enjoyed it.
Do you guys have anything else to talk about? Is there anything else that you'd love to talk about?
I don't know.
We have, like merch. Do we have like
merch?
stuff?
Yeah, talk about your merch, because I remember you saying that you have merch.
A little bit of merch, yeah.
Yeah, we've got some badges.
Give me like 20 seconds and I'll go grab them, because I know exactly where they are.
I got a couple.
He's going to run down 3
Oh,
classes.
All right, he's got them.
Oh, thank God.
Red and a pink there.
Thought I was going to have to get a drink then.
That's pretty cool.
I'm going to get one anyway.
Yeah,
I've
so-
earned it.
Got a purple one there. and my favorite, because my favorite color, the blue one.
Same.
Yeah, too.
Well, where can people buy your badges from?
Just
DM
us.
us.
Yeah, just literally dropping us a message. They're £1 each if you don't want all 4, or £3.50 for all 4, and then just postage on top. But I think that's only something like £1 or something like that. Sam's been the one who's done postage, so I don't actually know what the postage is currently, but it's not that much. Yeah, so I think it works out about £4.50, £5 for all 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
yeah,
with
just
your-
literally dropping us a DM is like totally fine.
With your artwork, what I'd say, you could even release like the LP once you do it physical with a T-shirt. Then they could have like, the T-shirt and the LP with the design on that. Would be so cool.
That'd be
Then
so much
obviously
fun.
It would help promote your artists as well. People wearing all their art and everything. And then also people seeing your band, because I've still got my T-shirt in the wardrobe, my Riot from Paramore.
Oh,
that must be like 15 years old, if not older now. How old? Yeah, 15, 16 years. It's still in my wardrobe. That one was screen printed it's still pretty good condition. The T-shirt's gone a bit funny colour, but it's still mint condition.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I've still got a McFly T-shirt that I've had since I was about 10, and it still fits somehow. Miraculously, that shirt still fits.
Yeah, I've got a Mew shirt that was bought when I was 15. I was like 16. I still wear that now.
Oh yeah, I got all my Avenged ones.
I was going to say the same thing.
Oh yeah, that
to do stuff
story.
like that.
Do we want to tell the story of how me and Sam
it's a bit
kind
of a
of like
throwback.
had a weird moment?
Yeah, you know, that'd be kind of cool, because I didn't think these two know that about us.
Yeah, this might be a bit insane.
That's some Inception stuff.
Yeah, so like when I was in college, we had to do like a performance thing, and I went to Rattle and Drum, like a shop, to get like some guitar stuff, and I got like a book of Avenged songs. But you know, me not being like smart at the time, I was just like, I walked out with it, and I realized it said drums on it, and I was like, I don't play drums. So I went back in and I was like, I got the wrong one. Can I get this one instead? And he was like, oh, okay. And I walked away, and apparently Sam was in the building at the same time, because we saw the book later when I was at Sam's house. I was like, I have that like exact same type of book, but I bought the drum one by accident.
Yeah. Well, I was stood next to you, because I remember I was just like paying for my drumsticks or whatever. I remember somebody coming up next to me like, I bought the wrong thing, and then somebody just went off and sorted it. It was just on the counter, and my mum goes, "Oh, it's Avenged Sevenfold, and it's drums. Do you want it?" I was like, "Yeah, go on then." So yeah, and that's what we'd said. I think we'd just been in my room for a while, and he saw it. Was like, I had that, the exact same one as well, because I bought a drum one by accident. I was like, you know what? I got this because somebody bought it back to the counter, and I was like, "Did you get it from Rattle and Drum about 2 or 3 years ago?" "Yeah, you had this exact book."
Oh, that's so weird.
We didn't know each other. That was
Such like a fate kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think you told me the story before, but it's been a while since I heard it.
I don't think you told me that.
Yeah.
But I've just seen Brie asked if we can ship merch to the US.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we can. It will just cost a little bit extra in postage, because you know there's a bit of a big C.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a big C for it to cross. But if you drop us a message, we'll be happy to sort something out. Absolutely, for you.
I ship to the US, and it probably takes about 2 to 3 weeks at the minute, which isn't too bad. Just people say, "Hey, where's my parcel?" I'm like, "Well, it's going to be a bit longer, isn't it, than the UK?"
Yeah, it's got to go over a plane.
Don't worry. But that's my only issue with like shipping worldwide and stuff. They forget that it takes a long while, because it's not like a big shipping company that can just send it so quick.
Yeah. What else?
Yeah, Tegan's asked if has anyone asked who you guys would love to collaborate with, big band or small? Oh, God.
Collaborate with.
I'm not going to say
Machine Gun Kelly. No.
Oh, damn,
Don't even get me started. No, to be fair, yeah, Machine Gun Kelly and Youngblood. If I could do a song with them, I'd be happy.
Right
because
now,
like the vibes that they give off and like the music that they create is insane.
yeah.
I think for me, I think I do probably have to go. Probably, I'd love to. No, I've just got into her album, and I'm really enjoying it. I think I'd like to do something with Dua Lipa because her album's just awesome, and I love songwriting, so that'd be cool. Or either them, or I'd quite like to do something with Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that'd be
Shooting
quite
for
cool.
the stars, aren't you, Alex?
Yeah, big time.
That would be cool though. I mean, I'd really like something with like Bring Me the Horizon or something. Their like past couple of records have just been out. I mean, I love them. I have one of their like I had their logo on my wrist, like some of my first tattoos. So I'm a massive fan. But their newest stuff has been very inspirational to me, and I know Ashton as well.
Yeah.
With our
I'd
writing,
love,
a lot of sort of new stuff has been that.
I'd love to like collab with While She Sleeps. They've been like popping off as well. But like that would be more like Grace because like I don't think like they can incorporate like guitars and drums and stuff. But even that, I'd be like, yep, that's amazing. Just through like secondhand, I'm like, Grace collab While She Sleeps, yes.
What else have we got?
Liam's number one. If you can have a gimmick like Slipknot masks or Muse's tech, like a stage stuff, what would it be?
Ooh.
I think just an insanely massive stage production. Like,
Yeah.
all the pyro, all the
That'd
lights,
be so
all the
much fun.
screens. We could get some actors up there.
Do we realistically think that pyro would be a good idea?
No.
I love Fire.
Good fire.
It's a good song.
Yes, but who is the most clumsy in this band?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like that's
You.
You.
The one that's going to walk around all the time. Don't put pyro out there.
Don't worry, I'll be pretty active, so.
Your gal will set herself on fire.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll both burn together.
Set ourselves on fire.
Yeah, I think got another quick question, Flora. What are each of your guys' favourite songs?
Damn.
That's a tricky question.
Spotify, hello.
Yes.
Hmm.
Oh, Christ, that's a lot. Quick one.
I have so many.
Yeah, so Jonathan as well. If you get on this as well, mate.
My favourite songs. It's really hard because like I listen to different music depending what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I'm running, I'm listening to like fast dancing music. When I'm in the unit, I listen to like I don't know, like trance or sometimes hip hop, depending what vibe I'm feeling. It all depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah, I get that.
But my usual go-to shower song, because it's like 6 minutes 48 seconds or something like that, is Hotel California by the Eagles.
Good tune.
So I love that because I know I can get in the shower, have a shower, get out, and be almost dry by the time it finishes. So I know 6 minutes. So I'm like, yeah, that sound. That's like that's a really good one for me because at least I know how long. Cause sometimes you can stay in the shower for ages.
True.
So I think that's a really good song.
Well, what's like?
I
Oh,
think
it's a
for
good
me,
shower song.
if I was going for anything, if I had a gun to, I had to pick one. It'd have to be Night Sardonia by Muse. So that song is just for me. It's just the perfect track. I absolutely love it.
I'm really into like rap at the minute, like Baby No Money and stuff like that. It just makes me feel good.
I think honestly, like my favorite song at the minute is the new like KSI track. That's such a
What with Youngblood?
yeah, it's such a tune.
Yeah, it's a really really good
I was
tune.
like, thank God, why do I like this so much?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so good.
I think mine would probably be one off of Unit 6's. I don't think it was their first album. I think it was off of Hold Me Down. It's called There's No Such Thing as Accidental Infidelity. And it's like it's got so many like overlapping layers and stuff like that, and loads of different vocal takes and things. Oh, it's just so good, and I absolutely love that song. But I think like I really like acoustic stuff. Like if I'm just doing some work, I just stick on like acoustic things because then I'm not getting distracted by everything. It's just like chill and in the background. It's quite like Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones. That's one of my dad's favourite songs as well. Can't think of anything else. There's so many. Fleetwood Mac. I think anything by Fleetwood Mac, to be quite honest. Rhiannon by Fleetwood Mac is a brilliant tune.
So true. Tegan, have I ever listened to Tiggs? I don't know.
Trying to promote her own band in it.
Oh, is she?
Plugging her own band.
We can let it slide. We can let it slide. Well, that's
awesome.
Was it more?
I have a question. What's everyone's favourite like shower song? Like a song that if nobody else was in the house and you were in the shower, that you would sing and belt your heart out to.
Don't.
It's got to be something with some really dirty guttural vocals that I don't have the confidence to do any other time.
I think
Just
like
anything
Post
with like a really
Malone.
big scream in it.
Post Malone stuff, like that's like my singy stuff. I love his voice, like his songs, they're all super catchy.
I'm gonna have Sunflower in my head for days now.
Yeah. There you go. Well done.
That's a good question.
I think mine would be Nowhere by Jordan Sparks.
That's a really good song.
No shame. Because I fully belt out all of like the ad-lib kind of bits. Absolutely belt that song. I love it.
I think for me, this is a really funky one. It's probably Blue Monday by New Order.
Oh,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking of like
that's a big one for me. I love that song.
I couldn't remember the lyrics, so I just thought you were going to sit there and be like, do 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 do.
Yeah, I'm sat there just giving it some that in the shower.
All the effects. If you're not in a band, if you don't do the whole like all the drums, the guitar, and everything of like whatever song you're singing,
all at the same time.
Singing.
Yeah.
Another quick question from Ed. Beatles or the Stones?
Stones.
Beatles.
Stones.
You are outmatched.
You're all awful people.
Completely outmatched.
I'm gonna get an
I don't
angry
know,
text
though.
from my mum now, like, "How dare you not say Stones?"
I will say I've started leaning more towards Stones recently. Like I've listened to the Beatles way too much.
I mean, I love them both, but I think they take the action. Jonathan, what are you? Beatles or Stones?
I'd probably say the Stones.
Ah,
Because like I listen to the Beatles a bit, but I guess I've listened to more of Rolling Stones than the Beatles if I was typing into Spotify. So I've got one final question. I'm a huge believer in talking your existence into your future into existence. So like everything I say and everything like I do, I somehow make it come true because I just talk it into existence. So in 2 years' time, what is going to be happening with All Over Again?
I think for me, I'd like you touring. If possible. I think that for me that would be my big goal.
I feel like we might be getting back to normal in around 2 years. I think personally, I don't think anything will happen this year to go like tour Europe or anything, just because like the plague lasted 3 years. So I feel like this is also going to last about 3 years. So that's why that's a 2 year thing. But I think tours will be around in around 2 years.
I think
Oh no, froze.
No.
Anything would be amazing. Just for now, but that'd be cool for me. That's my goal anyway. I don't have anybody else, but that's what I'd like to see.
I
think definitely like we want to at least be in the run-in for playing Download, like have connections for that.
Well, the thing is, if you guys listen to the podcast next week, we have Lauren, and Lauren, she's a DJ, she's a rock metal DJ, and she may be getting to play in the DJ bit at Download because she knows some people from Download. So if you guys listening to next week's episode with Lauren or hook up chat to Lauren, like you guys could potentially do something that way with her.
Yeah,
she has connections, and obviously, like you said, connections are so important.
That's mint. Yeah, that's great.
It's just a resounding like want to tour at the minute, and as long as we're playing shows 2 years from now, that's pretty content. And obviously, 100%. I'd like to have some more music out. Maybe,
I was thinking either like 2 EPs or an album, or an EP and an album.
An album for sure. An album definitely.
And if we could get to the point where like we're doing this and we can like, it funds our lives, like 2 years seems like
That's the
really quick
dream.
for that,
That's the
but like
dream.
that
Mm.
That's always the dream, yeah.
such a blessing.
Yeah.
It's so doable nowadays because there's so much around on social media or anything. If one song just pops off, it can make you a global star.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, remember that
You
kid,
never know, do
that
you?
cowboy kid? He made millions and now he's disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He literally was around for like 3 months, made
I
his
miss
money.
that kid.
Yeah, he's gone now. But set for life. So
Mm.
it's anything like definitely that's the best thing about like social media and everything. Just one thing can just change your life.
For sure.
Mhm.
For sure.
Right. Well, I think it's time
Yeah,
to
close
start
question.
wrapping up a little bit now, guys, because it's getting towards 9 o'clock and we've almost been on 2 hours, which is amazing, which is a lot longer than like
Wow.
I was looking for. I was hoping for like an hour and 20, but yeah, this is amazing. We've had so much to talk about. So yeah, thank you everybody for your questions. If you guys want to say bye, then I'll finish the episode. I'll round it all down.
Mhm.
So thank you so much for coming on your first podcast.
Yeah. Oh,
First
Yeah.
one, first interview.
Thank
No,
you
it's
so much
finished.
for having us. It's been
Yeah,
so
it's been
much
really good.
fun.
Really
I
enjoyed it.
really enjoyed listening to your story because I didn't really know about your story and everything. So that's so interesting. And I know you've got so many fans out there that are really supportive. And I can't wait just to see you guys grow. And I'm following you all on socials as well. So that's even better. So we can all keep in contact and maybe down the line get you on again. See where you're at.
awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'd love that.
Listen to your new EP and then more tracks after that and everything.
Yeah,
That's what we'll be in
definitely.
2 years. We'll be back
Yeah.
here in 2 years. We'll see if it came true. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll get you in 1 year and a half because you would have already done it because it's in your mind now, planted there. So you'll be even doing it earlier.
Mhm.
Gotta thank you. Gotta say
Yeah.
thanks to Marcus from Spill It as
Yeah, I've
well.
got to say,
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Marcus. I know you're lurking. I know
Yeah.
you're there. But yeah, thank you so much for this
So do you want
opportunity.
to plug your socials one more time, just in case we had more viewers now than we didn't have earlier?
Yes.
So where can people
Plug all
find
that stuff. So on Instagram and Twitter, it's all over again UK. I think it's exactly the same on Facebook as well. Yeah, if you pop over onto them, if you want to have a chat with us at any point, just drop us a message. All of us have access to all of them, so we'll let you know who you're talking to. But yeah, if you fancy a badge or full, then drop us a message. Again, like, we're always happy to talk to anybody, and especially at the minute, like, if you just need people to talk to and stuff like that, like, we are happy to talk to you. We love making new friends, and like we're supportive people. We want to be there for people. So drop us a message and look out for the EP next month.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys. I'm going to wrap this up now. So I'll just pop you guys off the screen a second. There we go. And see, Alex. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Takeover from Spill It. So actually, Spill It has got a brand new website and you can check it out here. This is Marcus's website and he's got so much merch on there, everything like that. If you guys do want to get in contact with Marcus to come on his show, you can email him either marcus@spillit, or if you guys see in your top right, he's on every single social on spillit_Marcus. And also, I forgot to say this at the start of the episode because I got a bit too excited. Spillit is running its March competition. So, 1 second. If you guys run 300,000 steps, you win yourself a medal. So all you need to do is measure 300,000 steps, send Marcus either an email or a direct message, and you'll be in with a medal from Marcus and also have the chance to win some Spillage merch, which you'll also see on the website. But so good. So yes, I'm Simo. I'm from That Life Clothing, and I'm actually wearing some of the new products which we're launching on Friday. So I've got my new embroidered shirt. This is like a check shirt with our I did it wrong side. The Metamorphosis design. And also we've got our cord hat. You can't really see its cord. But yeah, if you guys want to check us out on Instagram, Our Instagram handle is VatLifeCL, or just type in VatLifeClothing on Instagram. And yeah, just make sure you give us a follow and also give Marcus a follow. That would be amazing. And yeah, if you guys want to ever come on the That Life show or Marcus's Spill It show, just send us a message and that would be fantastic. So moving on to next week's episode of Spill It, we have DJ Connie Von D. Now, Lauren, she's a DJ. She's a rock metal DJ. She works in a nightclub in Preston, the same place as myself. And she's going to be on next Wednesday talking all about the music scene as well, talking about everything that's been happening from COVID. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I had Lauren on my podcast a few months ago, and yeah, it was a fantastic talk. So I'm really looking forward to checking that one out as well. So thank you guys so much. And thank you so much again, Marcus, for giving us this opportunity to be on this stage of Spill It. I think I've covered everything now. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your evening. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been an amazing show and I've loved seeing all your comments. So yeah, have an amazing Wednesday night and catch you all soon.